Self-control. Hello and welcome back, viewers. I pray that all has been well and that you're walking in the light of Yahusha. Now, in this world, self-regulation really isn't a thing. People are just doing things, consuming things, saying things, and generally living their lives without thinking at all. Or so it seems. So first, what is self-control? The term self-control is defined as the ability to control oneself, in particular one's emotions and desires, or the expression of them in one's behavior, especially in difficult situations. Do you practice self-control? Self-control is a gift from Yahuwah, our Eloah. So if you're not following and worshiping Him the way He instructs us to in the Bible, the answer to this question is probably no. Self-control is also one of the fruits of the Spirit. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. Living without self-control is dangerous, not only for oneself. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. That's scary. A person who does not practice or even possess self-control is always spiritually unprotected. Even when they abstain from evil for a long time, the slightest problem or trigger can make them backslide and act in their flesh because they lack self-control. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revellings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahuwah. The best way to gain self-control and to stay in control is by reading the word of Yahuwah. Yahuwah sends His word to us to justify and redeem us. The words spoken by the word of Yahuwah are spirit and life. It's the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profits nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. We can certainly produce all of their fruit by planting these spirits in ourselves. Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. If we keep Yahuwah's words in our hearts, it will keep us from sinning, and simply abstaining from sin at all times shows tremendous self-control. We must also show self-control when it comes to eating, entertainment, our words, our thoughts, certain behaviors, and our desires. Be not among wine-bibbers, among riotous eaters of flesh, for the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags. We cannot make our bellies our idols. Whose end is destruction, whose Eloah is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. Enjoying our lives is good, but it should never get in the way of our devotion to Yahuwah and His will, because putting ourselves above Him, even for a second, can lead to our destruction. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Exercising self-control in our speech is more important than most of us realize. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. We must guard our mouths. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahuwah. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, If there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Even our thoughts need to be kept under control. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yahuwah, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahushua HaMashiach. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affections, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. Inappropriate behaviors, being fresh, are a sin, and are also a great stumbling block for Yahuwah's chosen people. Do not deceive yourselves. Practice self-control. There hath no temptation taken you, but such is as common to man. But Yahuwah is faithful. He will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you'll be able to bear it. And finally, we must not allow our own selfish desires to separate us from Yahuwah. But every man is tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. But do not be discouraged. No one's perfect. For all have sinned, and come short of the glory of Yahuwah, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Yahushua HaMashiach. That's right, we all fall short, but we are also redeemed and justified through Yahushua HaMashiach, the blessed Son of Yahuwah. Please read the word of Yahuwah and be filled with his wonderful spirits, so that we will be less susceptible to the unclean spirits of Satan. But until next time, Hallelujah.